Hi guys, today I'm going to be doing a makeup look and talking about the Sallie house. So today I'll be doing like a full makeup look. Usually I don't do my full face, but today I'm going to do like cover up and stuff. So I am going to put half my hair up. Just so I don't get it in my makeup. Okay, and then I'm not that skilled, so the way I'm doing my makeup today is I'm going to box it off with tape. Like I have electric tape, because I did it with another tape last time and it hurt so bad to rip it off because I had to put it over my eyebrows, so it hurt so fucking bad. So if you think it looks weird, it's probably because it does look weird. Okay. So today we're going to be talking about the Sallie house. If you don't know what the Sallie house is, it's a haunted house that you can do. You can go in, they have tours, they have a bunch of other stuff that you can do. I was looking online and I saw, I can't remember how much it was, I think it was like $10 a person, very inexpensive. And you go for 2 hours and you have a tour and you can just walk around and you can do stuff. You can just explore the house basically. This probably looks really weird. I just have to do it. I'm not that skilled to just like do lines on myself yet. So I know this looks weird, but this is how I have to do it. Okay. I'm going to start off with Revolution, and I'm going to start off with Vaycay, which is just a pink, hot pink color. Okay, starting to talk about the Sallie house. When I was researching the Sallie house to see why it was so haunted and what was wrong or what happened to make it so haunted, I actually found 3 different stories. Today I'm going to be telling you 2 of the different stories because one of the other stories is basically almost the exact same thing as the second story I'm going to tell you, other than like a few things. So I'll tell you what the few things is that's like not exactly similar, but it's almost the exact same thing. The first story is there was a woman and she died in 1905. Her name was Sallie. She was a brickyard worker. She had 14 kids. But most of these kids, they died during birth or died when she was pregnant. There was always something wrong with the kids. Only four of the kids that she had out of all 14 actually lived. And there's 3 girls and then 1 boy. Every year, so you gotta think like she had 14 kids, so every year she was pregnant. So every single year there was a death in the house or there was a birth in the house. So either there was a kid born and they died or just a kid born, period. Some other deaths other than like her children that died, the uncle, he died at Christmas. There was his baby sister that died and then an aunt that also died. And that's what they think one of the stories could be, because they think all of the kids that she had, since they think Sallie is a little girl ghost or a little kid ghost, that it could be from one of the kids that she had and they, moved on. Or it could be multiple of her kids that did it, you know, just multiple spirits that could be haunting the house. The second story is there was a couple that was living in the house, and they had a maid, and the maid and the husband had an affair with each other. It was in the time where they had like black maids. It was very uncommon for white and black to mix. It was during that time. It was when they were slaves, and they had an affair together. From this affair, they had a little girl named Sallie. So the little girl one day was coming down, she was sick, she was having very, very, very much pain. And since the guy was already a doctor, he didn't, also since it was an affair baby, obviously, he didn't want to bring it to the hospital. He decided, so they decided, he decided, she didn't know. He decided, okay, let me just take a look at the girl. Let me just see what's wrong with her. I'm a doctor, I know, obviously, you know. He took a look at her, and he found out, he thought her pancreas was erupting. And if nobody knows what that is, it can kill you. Literally, it's so bad. It's very, very common too. Like, it's very common that something happens with your pancreas, something happens period with it. It's very, very, very common. So he thought, okay, again, I'm a doctor. I can't take her to the hospital. Doesn't want to take her to the hospital. So let's perform surgery here. So he performed surgery on her, and she died during the surgery. Once the mother found out, because the mother wasn't there during this whole entire thing in this story, like, I don't know what she was doing, but she wasn't there the whole entire time. She didn't know anything was happening. Once she found out, she, like, literally attacked the guy. Like, attacked him. He got mad, and he got mad after she attacked him, obviously. And rumor to be said that he buried their bodies in the basement. And the basement is supposed to be like one of the worst haunted spots in the house. Like, nobody wants to go in the basement. It's just a terrible place. Like, something always, always, always happens. I did this look a couple days ago, and I didn't use these exact colors because obviously I want to do like the same look but with different colors. And I think these colors look a lot better with each other. Okay, sorry, back to the story. So after that, way after, recently I could not find a year. I found a year, 2004 is when I think this happened, but I couldn't find anything else saying if this happened in 2004 or if it was a different time frame. There was a young couple. Their name was Tony and Deborah Pickman. They moved into the house. Deborah was pregnant when they moved in. About to have a little boy. And they moved into the house thinking, okay, this could be my forever home. I'm about to have a kid, you know. So they move in, and then they start seeing things. They start hearing things. They just start, like, getting really, really creeped out. And Tony, which is the guy of the relationship, sorry, it's really close to my eye. Tony. Tony is the young guy that moved into the apartment, the father of the kid. The spirit, there's more than one spirit. One of the spirit hates men. So Tony was getting scratched, Tony was getting stuff thrown at him. He was just literally like getting the worst of the worst. He was getting scratched and stuff by like a ghost, you know, like they couldn't explain it. Sorry, I'm just trying to make this a little. Okay. So, he's getting scratched. He's getting, like, literally just everything by this ghost. And this is bugging me. Like, I know it's straight, but just how my face is laying, it's bugging me. Okay, so, when they were in the house, they called a paranormal team, and they came upon the house, and they discovered that Sallie wasn't the only ghost, which they thought, like, okay, there's just, you know, a little like one ghost. They realized that there's multiple ghosts, not just one. Like, there is a couple in there. I also found some stories of people that went into the house that experienced stuff. Also read some reviews on the house, and there's like very much mixed reviews. Like, so the tour that you're supposed to get is like a guided tour. Now, they may have updated it since like what they put on there, because there is some from earlier and now there's some from now. But some people were just saying like the guided tours weren't very guided. You watch like a video of some stuff about the house, just like a little documentary type thing of the house, and then you get to walk around it, and that's literally like your 2 hours. Some people were like, oh, I was done in like 45 minutes. I didn't even need the 2 hours. Like, it's just not a very, very, very good tour. But then again, I saw some people were like, oh, the woman walked me around, she helped me, she talked to me about everything, she took me to every room. Some people said it was a very, very good tour. Okay, so I really, really suck at my eyebrows, so I just take one of these, like, and shape them, because I cannot do my eyebrows for the life of me. And so I just basically shape them. And this right here is really, really, really bugging me. Okay, I'm gonna take one of these really quick. Sorry, that pink was bugging me so bad right there. Okay, so one of the stories is that they recently went to the house, and they had a guided tour. Obviously, I was just saying that they do guided tours. and she went in September of 2018. So this is from 2018. It's now 2020. So it was a little bit farther back, but still something to think about. She said, I was a total spectic. I know I'm not saying that right. But of all the things haunted. Sorry, it's hard to put this in the right spot without moving. Okay, so as soon as she walked in, she started getting like a really, really, really weird feeling. Like she didn't like the feeling she was. And then they walked into, so how I kind of like see the house is like the living room and the kitchen. Like you walk into the living room, you see kitchen, kind of like an open concept thing. Well, you walk into the kitchen and they have a waiver sitting out for her that she has to sign. Like she has to sign the waiver to go through the house. So at that point she's like, what the fuck? Like, why would I need to sign a waiver? Like, this is weird. Why am I doing this? So she signs the waiver and then obviously the tour begins. This is not like a mansion or anything like that. Like, it's just like a little 2-story house, which I am gonna put in like a little picture of it so you guys can kind of see what I'm referring to somewhere. I'm going to put a picture so you guys can see what it looks like. So she's starting the tour and she starts with the basement. So the living room and the dining room kind of had like an aura that she was talking about. Like it was just like a creepy, like she couldn't pinpoint like what was going on, but she just thought like, hey, this is really creepy. Why is this happening? Like, I don't feel good about this place. So, in the tour that she got, it was that the young lady had her appendix and it broke, and then that's how she died. She said that she quickly learned that there was good and there was bad ghosts. The bad ghosts live where people died in unusual situations. This seemed fairly straightforward to me, as in terms that made sense to me. Good ghosts live where they passed away peacefully while surrounded by people that they were loved. But it's when the bad in death that the ghosts become the bad side. Obviously, like, usually when you die and you're in a good way, you want to stay where people are loved. Usually, like, if something happens in a traumatic way, you might want to stay there. You never know. So they went down to the basement and they realized that the flashlights that they've been using, like, literally, like, went dead. Like, they couldn't use it anymore. So good thing, iPhone's 2020, we can use flashlights on our phone. So they used that. And she was saying, like, one tip when giving somebody that's coming to the house is to make sure that your iPhone is fully charged, because when she was in the tour, one of the tour guides that were doing it, her phone randomly like took random pictures. She didn't take the pictures, took random pictures around the house of when they were like touring everything. So back to this. They were down in the basement and they heard weird sounds, like metal sounds. Okay, so she is saying that when she was down in the basement, she heard sounds like metal going up against each other, like the of the metal. He said, I turned the light to where it came from and there was a metal chair near that sound. So it's kind of like the metal chair was being moved like against the basement. I glanced around where all of our feet were. Nobody's feet were near it. At this point, I thought, why not take some pictures, see if something shows up. I tried to take several pictures and my phone would not take a photo. Upon pressing the button a dozen times or so, I finally was able to get 3 pictures. As it turned out, these 3 pictures were very interesting. I would let you to be the judge of that and think that we all witnessed in the basement of the Sallie house. It did not take long for me to be convinced that someone else was there with us. I did not use flash in any of these pictures. So with all of the pictures, I think I only picked out 1 or 2 because most of them were like the same. Like you could literally just see the exact same thing. And it was just like better pictures of it. But I will definitely put those in there. But I think it's safe to say, like, this house is haunted. I forgot to put in there the young couple that was living there for a little bit of time. Obviously they moved out. But the young couple that was living there for a little bit of time, once they had their kid was like walking around and saying like, oh, I have an imaginary friend named Sallie. And let me tell you, my sister had an imaginary friend named Toby. Yes, I know all imaginary friends are named Toby. Like, literally, all their names are Toby. I don't understand what there is with this ghost fucking named Toby just running around everywhere. But she had an imaginary friend, Toby. And she would sit there and she would just talk to Toby. There would be like, there was windows right here, like a sliding door. And then there was a computer. And then there was a corner, and she would sit in that corner, and she would talk to her friend Toby for hours upon hours. And just to know how scary that was, for her to sit there and talk to somebody, like, we have no idea who this person is, like, this is weird. And imagining what they went through with that is creepy. And then having like the dad being scratched and a bunch of other stuff. Obviously, I didn't see any videos or anything of the baby getting hurt, but I mean, it didn't like guys. But I don't think it was that. I think it was like an older guy. So like from my perspective, I really think the thing with the baby appendix happened, and like the mom is just really not liking guys because I mean a guy killed her baby. Like she literally had a baby with a guy and he killed her because he didn't want to take her to the hospital because he had an affair with her and had a baby. And that would be like a very, very good, like, I feel like that would be a very good explanation for it because the mother would be attacking older guys because he thinks like, oh, you might be taking my baby, and then the baby could be like playing with the other children because obviously they want something to play with. Like he's a little boy girl ghost, like Sallie girl, but she probably needs somebody to play with. She doesn't have anybody there, you know what I mean? So I feel like that one's more believable than the mom that was like 34 years old that's also named Sallie. I mean, obviously it could have both happened and both could be very, very, very true. But I feel like it was more pointing to when I read everybody's like what was going on in the house with them and what happened to them. I feel like it was definitely more of like two spirits, like one very bad spirit that didn't like men, didn't care about women, but did not like men at all. And then there was one little girl, little boy ghost that was trying to play with the little kids or just trying to play period with anybody. But that is my little makeup look and my story about Sallie's house. And I know you guys can look it up anywhere. They do still do tours now. Again, I saw mixed reviews on the tours, so I don't know if it's a very good tour. A lot of people were just saying if you went to make sure that you knew some stuff about this Sallie house, so make sure you like read up on it or anything like that so that you know some of the stuff that's been happening or like the story about it, because apparently like the tours aren't very guided like they're supposed to be. But that's it. Thanks, guys. Bye.